Hey guys, thank you for joining me for some Friday fun. Mentioned last week, NFL draft happened last weekend. Said that depending on what happened in the draft, I would kind of talk about some things that I saw, especially when it pertains to the team that I follow, the Chicago Bears. Oh my goodness. Draft had some highs and lows. There was a good amount that was just kind of good. There weren't a lot of super crazy things that happened, um, especially in the earlier round where the much more big name players get drafted, the players you think are going to be ready to play this season. Um, I have very mixed feelings about the Bears draft. I haven't seen too many teams that received F grades on their draft, and the Bears received decent grades on their draft. I'm not entirely sure why, but they did. I don't know. To me, the draft is where you see what your team needs, and you make sure that you address those needs while still trying to um, also get some of the big star players who can move your team forward. To me, that's ultimately what the draft is. Like you know that you need players in a few key positions, and so if you don't get those at free agency, you get them in the draft, especially um, a few key positions where drafts are going to help you get those high quality players for less money against your salary cap than if you sign them as free agents. And I'm still not really sure that the Bears have solved their quarterback issues. As much as I really hope that Nick Foles does well, he's an awesome story, and I love to root for him. So I hope that he does solve it, but I'm not trusting that Mitch Trubisky is going to be the Bears solution, and I'm not sure that Nick Foles is enough of an upgrade. Yeah, the Bears drafted a tight end. I've heard they've got like 10 tight ends on their roster. You at most play with 3. And that is rare. So now I imagine Jimmy Graham is going to be more of a mentor to some of the other ones that they have. For people say Adam Shaheen, who was an early tight end draft pick for the Bears a few years ago, is probably not going to pan out, it looks like. But 10 tight ends on their roster. Hopefully Cole Kmet does well. He's a Notre Dame product. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I do really hope that he is a standout player for the Bears, but that didn't really address a need that they had. It more kind of was here's this really talented guy that we look highly on, so we're drafting him. Bears picked up a couple cornerbacks, which will hopefully help with the secondary, but they didn't draft a safety, which they need, and that's a lot of people's big questions is what are the Bears doing for their safety and their secondary? It's great that we've got some great cornerbacks, but you really need to be able to get a guy who can play as safety back there. So we'll see what goes on with that. There were some safeties the Bears could have looked at drafting. Bears did draft a few offensive linemen. I have no idea who these guys are the Bears drafted. And when you look at draft boards, there's an offensive lineman ranked in the top 100 of all players by ESPN who didn't get drafted. And the Bears had 2 shots at him, and they passed on him both times. I don't know if there's some red flag on that guy, but I was looking there, I'm just thinking, what on earth is going on? I mean, I don't know. The Bears, they drafted a wide receiver, but he's a smaller speed guy instead of, a bigger, real ball catching guy. I don't know. Bears draft kind of has me nervous. You can't tell. Doesn't look like the Bears answered some of their issues. It looks like they're are holes that are still going to be there, and and there were quarterbacks available. I mean, not the biggest name guys, but Jake Fromm from Georgia was available for the Bears draft multiple times, and the Bears didn't draft him. You know, I can't say that he would have been a huge upgrade on Trubisky, but where he was at, where the Bears would have looked at drafting him, especially after the Bears drafted out through the second round, they got their tight end, they got a cornerback. Jake Fromm was a big name guy they could have tried to get. You know, low round draft pick, so it's not like you're saying this guy's going to challenge Trubisky right away, but you know, making some move to say we need to address our quarterback, but no, they didn't do that. I really don't know. I've heard different things about different teams who did really well, didn't do well. There are very mixed reviews on the Packers signing a quarterback to replace Aaron Rodgers. Personally, I like the idea. Aaron Rodgers is probably getting near the end of his career. Aaron Rodgers was brought in under similar circumstances, so anyone understands the position that this new guy's in, it would be Aaron Rodgers. But some people aren't really sure about it. I don't know. Heard different things about different teams. I've heard that the Super Bowl champion Chiefs are probably just getting better, and doesn't look like teams are necessarily going to overtake them this year. I've heard that the Ravens, who are probably only going to get better as Lamar Jackson gets better, they had a really strong draft too. Apparently the Patriots are all good with Jarrett Stidham. Who knows how that guy's going to do, but Patriots are either going to be a threat with an entirely new team, or the Patriots have shown that they're going to be full-on rebuilding this year. I don't know. We will see how the NFL season plays out. But I am very concerned that of the teams that did not do well with the draft, the Bears might show that they are one of those where they really did not address anything they needed to. Ryan Pace, the Bears general manager, the guy who kind of oversees draft picks, hasn't hit on a whole lot of them. And I could, there have been people calling for him to get fired. And the way that this draft went, if the Bears don't have a good season, honestly, if the Bears don't make the playoffs, unless it's some super weird fluky thing, but Bears don't make the playoffs, I doubt Ryan Pace keeps his job. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Nagy does, especially if the offense shows some sign of development. If it's mostly a matter of the Bears not having the players that they need, but Nagy coaching them into good positions, I could see Nagy staying around. I think he did a great job his first year with the Bears. Last year, I'm not sure if it was more of his coaching that was an issue or if it was just the Bears players that were an issue, but who knows? Interestingly, it's supposed to be a fun video, and I'm spending almost all day complaining about sports, but I think for those of you who are sports fans, you understand this kind of is fun. I mean, for most sports fans, unless you're a New England Patriots fan, you're not celebrating year after year after year. And even if you are a New England fan, you find the small things to complain about. So instead of complaining about the serious stuff, I think, sports give you an outlet to get a little bit of frustration out. And yet still it's fun. It's enjoyable. I like it. So yeah, that's kind of final recap of the NFL draft. Hopefully the Bears did better than I thought, or else this is going to be a very, very painful NFL season coming up. We'll see what happens. Maybe the Bears have free agency ideas, trade ideas. Uh, maybe the Bears are going to pick up that offensive lineman who was undrafted as an undrafted free agent and shock everyone with that kind of deal. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, have fun this Friday. God bless you guys. Bye.